Hello and welcome to our webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to talk about getting online with your suppliers and the digital procurement process for IT resellers. My name is Anthony Parrott and I've been at Netset now for about 12 years and I've been involved with a number of e-commerce projects throughout my years and have really got to grips with some of the challenges the UK IT reseller faces.
Hello, my name is Jens Rosberg, co-founder of Netset and head of international sales. I've been working with e-commerce for the IT sector for 25 years, and you may think that digitalization is a trendy and top-of-mind buzzword right now, but in reality, I've been working with this for over 20 years.
The UK deals with a number of challenges at the moment, and one of them primarily is the hyper-competitiveness of the sector, with margins being tighter than ever and choices for where you can purchase from being unlimited. On top of that, you've got ever-demanding customers who want more and more services for less or no additional cost. And with technology always changing and ramping up, there's this need for instant gratification. People want their data, they want their prices, they want their products, they want it now or delivered tomorrow.
I can only agree with this, and there are challenges meeting the IT resellers from two sides. On one side, you have larger B2B customers asking for additional services, could be punch-in, punch-out solutions for integrating with their procurement systems. It could be end customers asking for specific product ranges, catalogs, and so on. On the other hand, you have the suppliers. They are in a hyper-competitive market and they need to look after their margins, and they are really struggling to get the resellers in automate and getting online business done. You can be sure that the suppliers are a main driver for automating the procurement process. There are different reasons for this. It's a hyper-competitive and transparent market, and the suppliers really want to be present where the local business is. You can be sure that this is a priority on every supply board's agenda. Measuring KPIs such as online share of total revenue is common today.
Perhaps you can give us some insight into what the changes have been over the years.
From my perspective, 10 years ago, much more were done manually, by phone, by mails, even by faxes. Times have changed. And today we have hyper-competition as well. We have big international players taking on local B2B business. And local B2B resellers, they need to defend their share of wallet of their existing customers.
IT resellers today, obviously more demanding than ever. They want the convenience of seeing an entire catalogue of products at their fingertips immediately. They want to see real-time stocks. They want to see real-time pricing. They want to know where they can get the product from and whether or not it's more sustainable to buy multiple items from one place or whether they want to buy from multiple places. It's not just about the suppliers, it's about the products as well. They want more information than they've ever wanted before. They want detailed specifications. They want to know what the product looks like. They want to know how they operate and if there's any user guides and all of the material that can come with it. And this is all available online. So why shouldn't it be available in the platforms where they're making their purchases? So we're talking about what resellers need to do to stay competitive, and to stay competitive, they need to be online. They've got to have the most up-to-date information. They need to have as many of their partners' data available to them as possible. And this data needs to be made available to their customers 24/7. It needs to be online, made available for them to just go and browse and look at the information as and when they need it. So by introducing e-commerce tools to handle inventory management, pricing structures, working out what their margins are going to be based on the best data they've got available, making those items available for customers to actually purchase. These are all things that aren't just nice to have anymore. They're kind of what you need to stay competitive. Obviously, the main benefits of being online is that you can automate stuff, automate processes. Automation essentially reduces the risk of errors and mistakes being made. The processes are simpler, they're faster, they're efficient, they're clean, and obviously reduces the amount of complaints or issues you're going to have from customers. They're going to be able to see the information they need, place orders in an automated process, be kept up to date with where that process is going, and ultimately better customer experience. Less complaints, more profit.
In order to meet this, IT resellers need to use automation tools in order to be the enabler for this value chain.
So when you are looking to go online, you need to consider what the challenges are from both the packages that are various tools that are made available and the hurdles that come with creating your own solution. First of all, creating your own solution is costly, complex, and comes with an inherited high risk. So obviously one of the biggest challenges is bringing together all of the data from your suppliers. They all make the data available, but consolidating that, putting it into one platform and having data that you can actually utilize is, like a challenge on its own. It takes a significant amount of time and investment and research to come up with a solution that's going to work for you and to consolidate all of that supplier information and make the relevant data available to the customer based on the numerous variables that you have available. And on top of that, you've got to ensure that you're staying compliant, making sure that the platform is secure, making sure that it's stable, making sure that it's always available. This on its own has its own inherent challenges, and it's something that needs to be maintained on a regular or if not full-time basis. In order to be successful, product content is absolutely crucial. Making sure that your customers know exactly what they're buying is vital. Having good product specifications, having good product information, even images, it all goes a long way to the shopper having a better experience.
I totally agree. The product content must be of such quality that it enables the end customer to do purchase decisions. It might be appealing to try to make your own e-commerce solution, but from our experience, this could easily be underestimated and at a high risk. Our recommendation is to look at the market for out-of-the-box solutions that can enable this in an efficient way.
So why don't we have a look at what that process might look like from an out-of-the-box solution?
This is what the value chain for the IT sector looks like. On the left-hand side, you see the suppliers. On the right-hand side, you see the end customers. In the middle, there is the reseller who enables the procurement chain.
So this is what the customer journey looks like. The customer journey begins with the customer browsing through the online store and selecting the desired items and adding them to the shopping cart. This can include more complex B2B functions like bid pricing or special agreements. It can even go as far as including direct integrations with end customers' procurement systems to utilize functions like punch in or punch out. After reviewing the cart, the customer can proceed to the checkout. Here, they can provide shipping and billing information, select the shipping method or choose a payment option. For existing customers, this may include customer-specific agreements like 30 or 45-day payment terms. And for new customers, it could be online payment options being made available via payment providers for credit card payments. And once this process is complete, you get to the order confirmation. A successful order is placed, the customer will receive order confirmation either via an on-screen message or by a confirmation email. This confirms the order has been received and the data is being processed.
If we look on the left-hand side of the value chain, we see the supplier side. They feed the reseller shops with data packs daily, but they have also services enabling online requests, for example, for prices and stock.
And then we look at the IT resellers in the center of this complex infrastructure. First of all, they want to offer an extensive product range. often 500,000 products or more. The supplier integration is essential for incorporating these product catalogs. Given that many resellers will work with multiple suppliers, consolidating and merging these product catalogs is required to avoid duplicate products in the store. You don't want to have the same product in multiple times. It just leads to customer confusion. The rich marketing content is vital for effectively showcasing your products. Without engaging images and detailed descriptions and specifications, your products are essentially just a list of part numbers, lacking in the appeal needed to attract and inform your potential buyers. Another part is the cost prices from the different sources. Since prices and stock levels frequently fluctuate, automating updates ensures that your store remains up to date without requiring a manual intervention. This gives the reseller the opportunity to evaluate the sales price and work out where to purchase the items for any given requirement. So being part of a complicated system, resellers are in the middle between suppliers and customers. They use automation to update information from suppliers and manage orders and requests from customers. The main goal of the platform is to minimize the need for people to be involved, reducing or eliminating manual processes and reducing human error. The future is all about being more efficient.
Talking a little bit more about the future, one thing that makes me excited is AI. We have customers starting working with this today in order to be more efficient. And to give a sample, we have customer samples today already. Their 60% of their online orders were handled without any manual hands-on. I believe that AI is a natural part of our future. This will help our resellers, our customers, to get more profitable, more efficient, and actually being able to survive in the long run.
As discussed earlier, the reseller is being pressured from both customers and suppliers for the procurement process to be efficient and transparent as possible. These solutions allow you to accommodate the demands of your customers while accommodating your supplier's desired practice for transacting business.
Now we will change focus and continue the customer journey and show you more about the procurement process. The customer placed the order in the store, which means that the admin is notified that there's an order to handle. From the order view, the reseller can see the initial supplier selection that has been based upon preset cost price strategies. Once the order is processed on the supplier side, it is shipped to the customer using the selected shipping method. The reseller selects the supplier they want to fulfill each line of the order and then simply clicks Create and Send PO, and the order is transferred online to the relevant suppliers. Using the online cost price and stock check, the reseller in real time can see actual stock and pricing from each supplier. The customer will receive tracking information to monitor the status of their shipment.
With these automated services, customers will save time and money by not needing to be in constant communication with the end user. These automated services will provide order statuses, ETAs, tracking information, serial numbers, anything that's relevant to the order will be communicated in real time with the customer. This allows the end customer to self-serve, meaning that the reseller and the suppliers can go about doing their usual business. So now we've covered an overview of the procurement process. The next natural step is your ERP integration. So the platform that you're looking at should be able to integrate with your ERP. It's allowing a simple flow of data for sales orders, purchase orders, and dispatch information. With these integrations, you will ensure that your ERP is kept up to date with relevant information. And then you can use that data, for example, to check your SOs and POs against supplier invoices.
To sum it up, this webinar is all about minimizing your transaction costs. However you go about handling your business processes today, there are always room to evaluate if there are more efficient ways to meet your market. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. If you want to get in contact with myself or Anthony, please press the contact button below. If you have any immediate questions, please add them to the chat and join us in the Q&A session.
Hello. Well, thank you for watching our webinar. We appreciate you taking the time to come and watch us. We would like to direct you to our chat if you would like to ask any questions during this live Q&A session. And if you would like to get in touch with us after this session, by all means, please use the red button below. I think it's over here, actually. I don't know which side of the screen I'm on, to get in touch with Netset.
Okay, thank you for watching. And we're going to have a deep dive in questions that come up. And I see we have someone coming in already on the chat. So I can start with the first one. It's from Trevor. The question is, how many suppliers do you support and how do I integrate with the supplier? And this is bread and butter for Anthony, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. So I think at the moment we've got circa around 200 suppliers at the moment in the NetTailer ecosystem. They're all of varying standards and formats, but we are seeing a trend at the moment with more and more services being added from suppliers. So when I talk about services, I'm talking about like P&A checks, so getting real-time updates or getting order responses and that kind of thing. So these are the kind of services that you can expect from many of the distributors going forward. We're also finding that there's a trend in additional suppliers attempting to or wanting to join the network and be part of our ecosystem just because of customer demand at the moment. So there is definitely a trend of suppliers getting online.
Okay, I think that covered that topic. Next question coming in is, how do you, I guess they mean Netset, distinguish between B2B and B2C business? And I can start out with that one. There is one fundamental difference in the approach. If you look at the B2C solution, you could take examples like Zalando in Europe or John Lewis in the UK. B2C shops, they offer one product range, one assortment, and one price to all customers. Of course, there could be discounts, there could be campaigns, but the fundamental approach is one assortment, one price. If you look on the B2B approach, the fundament is customer-specific pricing, customer-specific catalogs. So it sounds like a very small difference, but in reality, it adds much complexity. And I don't know if you want to add something, Anthony, about the business processes.
Yeah, you're right. The approach for B2C is very much an investment in SEO and driving people to the site. And like you said, short order processes, but less likelihood of a customer returning and placing repeat business. With B2B, offering the sort of services that are available inside some of the applications like NetTailer, obviously you can cater to returning business and give fundamental features to these customers. So things like empowering a customer with admin rights so they can control their company's users within their profile, setting up things like approval chains, allowing them to set spending limits for individuals within an organization, displaying specific product ranges. Maybe there's a specific catalog or a range of products that's been pre-approved, being able to sort of navigate and filter down the range of products that these customers can see. This is all goes a long way to catering to a B2B business, making sure that you're meeting the requirements from your customer.
Yeah. To sum it up, B2B is more like long-term relations and long-term business.
Yeah.
Next question coming up is, okay, it's right on. How fast can I have a shop up and running?
Oh, I mean, technically speaking, with a net tailor, we can have a shop up and running well within a week. No real issues there. I mean, there's a couple of caveats, and obviously there's some external processes that might delay that process. Things like setting up a payment provider if you haven't got your merchant ID set up, and bits and pieces like that can obviously cause some delays. Sometimes suppliers are not the fastest at replying with feed requests, so sometimes that might push you a day or two behind. And then there's obviously making sure the users are all well trained for the store and meeting the schedules of their availability around their normal jobs when they're setting up a shop. So all these things come into account. But as I said, typically we see shops up and running in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah, based on your history, the best case ever in time to market for a shop?
I mean, we've had a shop up and running within a day or two of a signed contract. So it's really about how hands-on the customer wants to be. But yeah, I'd say within a day we can have a shop up and running if we've got a supplier feed preset, pre-ready.
Okay, thank you. Now we have a question from Stefan asking, is there any support for multi-country dispatching? For example, we have Ingram Micro Sweden connected. Can we also enable Ingram Micro UK, but only for our UK customers? That's possible. It's a little bit more detailed question, so please get in touch with us after the meeting and we will tell you how we can arrange for this.
Yeah, it's a good one, but it's absolutely doable.
Next question is from Helen. How does digital procurement differ from traditional procurement methods and how will it save us money?
Okay. Well, let's consider what the current process is for, I guess, non-digital. So I think the process at the moment for many people who aren't online is a case of telephone calls, emails, exchanges of data available during that moment. So let's say a customer wants something, they ring up their supplier, they ask their supplier if they've got stock. They have to make an effort to find out what the stock is and if there's a deal or any pricing. The supplier then has to do the same job if they're not online with their suppliers, and they're going to be ringing around to trying to find the best deals they can get and make sure stock is available. So there's just lots of communication required back and forth, and in any of those moments between these conversations, this data can change. So for going online and using a digital streamline process, you're able to get your information immediately, and it's in real time. So you can see a stock, you can see a price, and you can make a purchase. This is obviously ideal, and that you can be confident in that the fact that once you've placed an order, you actually know that you're going to get that product that you've asked for, and it's not a case of I'll ask my supplier, see what he's got, and he'll come back to me in 10 or 15 minutes and let me know. And if you've got a customer sat around waiting, then that's another 10 or 15 minutes before you get back to them. So the process being online definitely streamlines, and just simply in the time frame and the number of people involved in that chain is obviously going to reduce your costs and increase your efficiency.
All right.
Sorry, the other thing as well. Sorry, a big glaring thing I've got to mention is obviously the reduction in human error. So by automating these processes, you're getting rid of human errors and mistakes that are made between physical communication and typos. So yeah, a really big part of the process is obviously going to make sure that the execution is correct.
Thank you. Next question is, it's a complex world. We have loads of cost prices coming in. There is a need to define the actual cost price as well as setting your margins and stuff to get the right end customer pricing. How do I go along about that?
Handling pricing. So Yeah, I mean, obviously in a package like the NetTailer, we have quite a complex price matrix tool and a whole range of pricing guides. So first of all, you need to set a strategy up for how you want your cost price to be worked out based on the data you've got from your multiple sources. So obviously this means deciding whether or not you've got a preference in supplier, a preference in or in pricing, whether you want to weigh your cost price against a supplier with more stock than one with less stock. So you first of all, the principal part is setting up what your cost price strategy is. How you determine what your cost price is going to be based on a number of variables that you're able to set in the shop. And then once that's been decided and it gets calculated for you automatically and on the fly, you're then able to set price logics for your customers. So this is where you're able to add your margins or your markups or various discounts or whatever it is that you want to do. And inside a package like NetTailer, we've got a whole host of different tools that will give you complete control over how you want to set your pricing for your customers. First of all, we've got just our standard general price lists. So you can set up global pricing across the store. We've got customer connected price lists, so you can actually have different pricing for different customers or just in tiers if you just want to have your customers in up to 10 different tiers. We've got fixed pricing, so you can set fixed pricing up against whole products or whole categories if you want. And then obviously we've got support for bid pricing. And obviously bid pricing is a really big thing in the public sector, and we're actually as far as I'm aware, one of the only e-commerce platforms out there that deals with bid pricing as a standard feature.
Cool. I think that covers pretty well, actually. Thank you, Anthony. If I should start up a shop, what are the resources needed on my side to handle this solution?
Okay, so we always say that when a new customer comes on board, one of the fundamental things they need is at least one person in their organization to sort of take ownership and sort of be like the shop lead, if you like. There needs to be at least one person who's going to drive this thing and to like be the conduit between the reseller and ourselves. I feel like that's super important, and obviously not something you're going to really do without. There definitely needs to be somebody who's going to take control. Obviously, this person will probably be involved in the general day-to-day of the running of the store. They'll be taking care of things like, if it's not automated, taking care of processing orders and potentially dealing with customer services. We also recommend that the person has a basic understanding of e-commerce and basic software usages, so that there's no hurdles. That being said, we do offer world-class training, so anyone using our platform can feel very confident and that they'll know how to use it by the time they're up and running. And the other thing is vital for this person to have good communication internally within that business, because they might be responsible for the pricing and the marketing and just the general company policies and setup throughout the store. So having a good ear to the ground and knowing what your organization needs is going to be useful.
Cool. Thank you very much. The next question coming in is how much does an out-of-the-box solution cost?
Okay, out-of-the-box solution. So we're talking about NetTailer. Obviously, that's where we come in. Our base product starts at around €500. So for our basic product, and then we go up to our high-end product, which is around €1,600, and that's monthly.
Is there anything included in this service?
Well, obviously, all of the standard functionality that you get in the NetTailer, which we can obviously talk to anyone about as and when they're looking to sign up. But one of the big things that you're looking for when you're buying from out-of-a-box solution is that it's going to stay current, it's going to stay relevant. And that's one of the things that we're really proud of here, is that NetTailer is constantly being updated and new features are being added all the time, and making sure that it stays ahead of the market trends. And yeah, as far as and staying ahead of market trends and customer demands. But it's quite customer driven, so a lot of what we build is actually what we're being asked for.
Cool, thank you. If you're on the other hand, the other alternative is to build your own in-house solution. Do you have any assumption about the cost for this? It's hard, of course.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's difficult to quantify. So in our experience, I'd say, I think we've discussed this internally a few times. We think that an off the ground solution would cost somewhere in man hours between maybe 5,000 and 10,000 hours, which is huge. I mean, you require significant investment to develop in development resources and manpower and people's salaries just to sort of get a platform up and running and to be able to be a data exchange for like supplier data and that kind of thing, and all the other fundamental features that you get out of the box for us wouldn't be available without you building them. So there's that. There's obviously the high risk of spending a lot of time and money on something like this and it not achieving what you want, and you're not really knowing until you're a long way down the rabbit hole. So there's definitely a risk element. Obviously, there's then the maintenance and the keeping it up to date. So even if you hired a few people just to get you off the ground to build a platform, and then you got rid of them once you're up and running, you still need people to come back and patch things and update and keep up with compliance and all the rest of the stuff that is involved with running an online web shop. But reasonably high. And then on top of that, actually, you've got your hosting. So if you haven't got a hosting partner, then obviously you need to source one. You need to find somebody who's reputable. And if you're going to host yourself, which is absolutely doable, then of course you've got the cost of all that hardware as well, along with its maintenance and compliance. So it's not all just about building something, throwing some code together and building it, but it's keeping it up to date and making sure you stay compliant and within the sector's regulations. Expensive is the answer.
Okay, cool. I have one more question from Stefan, who was in contact with us earlier on in the session, but that's also a little bit in detail. So please get in touch with us, or we will contact you to sort those things out. And from what I see, we don't have any more questions coming in, and this probably means that we are ready to end this session if we don't have any last minute question.
Fair enough.
No.
Everybody here is an expert. It's great.
Yeah, cool. So thank you very much for participating in this.
Yep, thank you for joining and asking questions. And as I said, if you want to get in touch with us, use the red button below, and Stefan will be in touch to answer your questions directly.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.